Hi and welcome to Trucking Tips with Dave, another episode of handy hints and tips and things that can help you progress your business and make life a bit easier, and things you may not have known and things you knew already that needed brushing up. And this episode of Trucking Tips with Dave is a little bit different. It's not so much a maintenance thing, but a fantastic product that we've come across a couple of times before, and we want to promote and get out there because I think it's a fantastic piece of kit. I've got with me Gary Puklowski. He is the co-owner of AutoKraft Electrical and Diesel in Palmerston North. Hi Gary, how you going?
Good, and yourself, Dave?
Yeah, awesome mate, awesome. Now, the product we're talking about today, you're the NZ agents for the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway Brake System. Now, I am an old school trucker quite often. I take a bit of dragging through the mire with new stuff, but I love the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway Brake System. I really do, because I don't care what any truck driver tells you. At some stage in our lives, we've all had that moment where we've gone to alight from the cab, as they say, and realised that we haven't pulled the big yellow button on, and that can result in all sorts of drama. So just briefly tell us, what is the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway Brake System all about?
Sure, so the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway System is an active safety system, and it applies the park brake if the driver doesn't fully apply it when they leave the cab.
Right. Okay, and it's sort of a layer deep in that too, because they actually get a warning first, don't they? Yeah,
they do. They just like a standard handbrake alarm required on a lot of sites. They get a warning before they exit the vehicle.
Yep, that's right. And if they sort of ignore the "oh shit" moment, I haven't pulled the park brake on, and attempt to actually continue to alight the vehicle for reasons I'm not sure why you would, it actually goes the whole hog and says, "Well, I'll do it for you then."
That's exactly it. Yep, it completely applies the brakes.
Yep. And as I've just touched on in the introduction, the risk is out there and constant, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yep. The risk is there.
Yep. And there's all sorts of information available that would back that up, isn't there?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of information out there. Most of the larger companies are well aware of these types of issues.
Yeah. Because I was talking to you last night about it, and you were saying there's actually a sort of an algorithm that they've done where they believe that the percentage of ones that are actually reported versus the ones that occur on the quiet, and the driver goes, "Oh shit."
Yeah. It's about 3% of all rollaways are actually reported.
Yep. I would believe that would be exactly the case. So Gary, AutoKraft Electrical and Diesel in Palmerston North, you're a Kiwi boy, you're a Palmy North boy, born and bred, you're a glutton for punishment, you like lots of wind and plenty more wind. So how did you come to hold the Max-Safe agency in New Zealand for this product, and actually the Max-Safe suite of safety products and vehicles?
Yeah, sure. So I left New Zealand in 2008 and went over to Australia and worked for a company called Sugesco Max. And they are the designer developer of the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway system, along with a suite of other products. So yeah, it was a good time, and I learned a lot, and decided to, when I came back to New Zealand and set myself up properly, we decided to try and integrate the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway solution into our product line with some good success.
Yeah, that's right. I suppose it's a case of seeing something that looks really good, works bloody well, and think, well, I can make this work at home.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Well, you can see a need for it, and the demand is there now, so it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely is. And so, I mean, it says that obviously the benefits of it is your extremely large and valuable asset doesn't bugger off down the hill on its own. So is there any other, that's the number one benefit, obviously, any other benefits that spring to mind?
Yeah, exactly that. So the good benefit is to not have your truck rolling away into anything or anyone, the main one being anyone.
Cool. And of course, there's that fringe benefit we touched on before as well about, a lot of the big corporates now are asking for trucks that come on site to have mandatory park brake alarms, which it has. That's level one of the warning.
That's level one of it. Yeah. So it has the standard park brake alarm as its first line of defence. Should the operator ignore that or any other situation to cause the system to activate, then it actively applies the park brake.
Yep. And I've found too, and hey, I'm sure I'm not the first one of the old schoolers that have experienced this, but like the first time, those park brake alarms, I found it annoying because I opened the door and I was reaching for the yellow button and the alarm came on, but then I realised that actually it's training and do it bloody properly.
Yeah.
Pull the park brake on, then open the door and you'll never hear it.
That's right.
Yeah.
If you do it correctly, and then there's no need for the system to activate.
Yep. So how's the uptake been?
Very good. Yep. We've got some large companies that have taken on the system. Kinetics in the South Island, Wellington, Christchurch, and Cromwell. They have taken it upon themselves to implement the system. They've got about 80 or 90 critical vehicles that they're installing onto. So we'll have that completed in the next year or two. And then we've got Allied Concrete, Firth Concrete. They have taken it on board as well. Allied has been installing it as new vehicle fitment, so all new vehicle procurement is receiving the Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway, and same with Firth Concrete. They've just started the new vehicle procurement fitments, with also a fleet rollout. So the details are yet to be confirmed, but it's a huge commitment from some of the big players.
Yeah, absolutely. And I sort of see it personally myself as like I touched on at the beginning, and it's a product that I really, really like because there's a twofold protection. One is like from the point of view of the vehicle and the fleet owner, you don't need that bloody call. You've got that much stuff that you're thinking about. When it happens, you're like, oh, for God's sake, really?
You definitely got a lot to think about.
But there's also the point of view from the driver, like the guy that's had the stellar 35-year career, never put a foot wrong, is considered the absolute bloody, the zenith of mentors of all mentors and that, and then in his 38th year of driving, he just has that bloody one slip where the one day and it rolls away and he bloody bowls something or with someone. It's it can protect a great career.
Absolutely. It only needs to happen once.
Yeah. And what sort of training support, Gary? So I've got it installed. It's in the truck or trucks. Who needs to know what from who?
So we've got obviously when we install the system, we basically go over with all the drivers of how to use the system, and the fact that they actually don't need to do anything apart from their daily checks. We also train the fleet managers on how the system functions, what they need to be looking out for, which is very limited in what they need to do. The system really realistically looks after itself.
No, that's great. Yep, absolutely. That's exactly what we want to hear. Plenty of support and easy to use. In fact, it's one of those things that if it's working properly, you'll never ever, or if you're working properly, you'll never ever end up there throughout the whole of your driving life.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. If you do it correctly, it'll never ever activate.
Yeah, exactly. So, Gary, I suppose a question that a lot of operators will be thinking about listening to this Trucking Tips is how is the solution for them?
So we'll travel New Zealand wide to go to the locations and fit the kit into the vehicle. It can be fitted into basically any vehicle that's around about that 4.5 tonne and over. Tippers, trucks, semi-trailers, graders, buses, the whole 9 yards. So they're vehicle-specific kits. So if you've got an Isuzu, you'll receive an Isuzu kit. If you've got a Hino, you'll receive a Hino kit. Same with Mitsubishi, Scania, Volvo. They can be retrofitted. So if the vehicle's already in use, you can still retrofit, or even new builders, cab chassis on the production line.
Excellent. So that's great. That's quite reassuring. So there's actually kits for OEMs that are just sitting there and say, oh yeah, this is one of those, it's one of those.
Yes.
Yep, that's fantastic. Yep. That's great.
And so currently we're also looking for a select number of dealers across major locations over New Zealand as well, to get them trained and up to spec and start installing these systems nationwide.
Exactly. So how do people find out more information? They've heard this, they think that's a pretty cool product, will help my people in plant. Who should they talk to? How do they get hold of you?
So they can find all of the information on the Max-Safe products on their website, which is www.maxsafe.com.au, and also from our website, which is www.aed.nz. Or you can give us a call on our landline, which is 06 3590 100.
Excellent. So there it is. Great product, Max-Safe Anti-Rollaway System. I think it's a jewel of a product. It's something that's actually incredibly practical, incredibly invisible if you're doing it right, but you just never know the day that it might save a lot of grief, and chances are you will actually never know the day that it saves a lot of grief.
We will never know.
Yeah,
we will never know. Hey, that's the divine intervention.
Fantastic. Hey, thanks Gary for coming along, being part of Trucking Tips with Dave, and safe travels back to Palmerston North.
Appreciate it, Dave. Thanks very much.